Hello, my friends. Today, Nintendo streamed their combination Indie World Showcase plus Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, a novel occurrence. Quite interesting. I streamed the whole thing. I have the VOD uploading right now. If you want to go look at it and you don't see it yet, then just wait a little bit longer, but that should be up pretty soon if you want to see all of my crazy live reactions of a guy who is sick and also slept poorly and is watching a thing at 7 a.m. It's a good time. So I'm going to go over some highlights, just my personal picks or anything that I found interesting, and then we will go over the overall thoughts at the end. Starting with the Indie World Showcase, I just love to see crazy breakout indie successes. I love it. When a game comes and just no one saw it coming, no one could have possibly expected that it would explode, and then it just does. And right now that story is Balatro. It's just such a big thing, purely just because it's a really fun game. It's not even like the marketing, it's not even anything to do with, like, oh, it's because all the streamers were playing. It's like, no, it's just a really incredibly good game. I haven't played it yet, but I have been itching to, and I've been watching people play it. It looks really fun. Anyway, point is, I love how apparently everybody was slamming on their door just trying to get in on this whole Balatro thing with the collabs, and right here they reveal 4 different game crossovers with Balatro all at once, because just apparently the demand was that high. That many other studios and other games wanted to cross over. It's crazy. You've got Witcher 3, Dave the Diver, Vampire Survivors, and Among Us. So, like, not even just crossovers, but crossovers with, like, some of the other most crazy, like, other crazy breakout indie successes. I don't know. It's just really incredibly cool. And so, yeah, they revealed all that. And, yeah, I haven't played the game. I just think it's really, really fantastic how big it's become. And then we had a new trailer for Neva. And these kinds of games are funny. These kinds of like really super artful cinematic platformers, because it's almost just like, I don't need to see more. You don't need to give us another trailer. Like, we know what it looks like. We know it looks cool. If I'm already sold on the game, you're going to show me another like epic, beautiful, incredible, artistic, just like, yeah, I know. I get it. Just, I don't know. I'll just wait for the game. No, it looks really good. Just like the previous trailer, it looks really fantastic. I love all of the creature designs and everything, and I'm pretty excited to play it. Power Wash Simulator Shrek Special Pack was not notable to me particularly, except for the fact that it inspired me and chat to start coming up with we're developing a game. We're making a game. We're all of us are collectively gonna make a game, and it's like this Power Wash Simulator thing, but like Shrek is hanging around and he like gets mad at you, and it's gonna be really good. It's like Shrek but scary. Like, if you want to like advertise the game to anyone for us, we're looking for funding, and literally all of the things that go into a game, all of those resources, we're currently looking for that. So if you just advertise like Shrek but scary, that'd really help us a lot. But yeah, if you want to hear more about that, you go check out the stream. Morsels was undoubtedly my highlight of this entire double presentation, to a pretty drastic degree, by a rather wide margin. This game has a truly unique art style, which is not something that you can say super often. There's a lot of games out there, and a lot of them look really good. A lot of them using pixel art and whatnot. But like, man, every once in a while a game comes along and you're like, no, that is completely unique. And I love it. I still can barely even tell what kind of game it is, but everything I'm seeing, everything about the visuals and the style and everything, it looks really fantastic, and I am sad to see them describe it as a roguelike. That has kind of sapped my interest. I don't want to play a roguelike. I just want to play a game. I don't want to play a game that stops when I die. I just want to like sit down and play a video game. That's kind of a bigger discussion about the genre. So that's pretty disappointing, actually. Yeah, no, that's that's disappointing. But who knows? I have been into some roguelikes before, and it otherwise looks really, really, really phenomenal. I mean, maybe it's worth a go just to see the really unique visuals and whatnot. I love it. Date everything, where you can, where every single object in your house is a person who you can date. It's not my kind of game, but you know what? I just can't believe it took us this long to come to this. Just like humanity, I can't believe it took us this long to make a game where you could date literally everything in your house. So I mean, kudos to them, I guess. Peggle looks really cool. I mean, I don't, just EA's mishandling of Peggle is just absurd. Peggle is super duper fun, and the fact that they just cannot give it to us in any like form that just like works, that's just like on a system or whatever. And I'm surprised that there have not been more Peggle likes. I know it's, I mean, you know, it's a pachinko thing. It comes up a lot in games, but like a really solid like Peggle kind of thing. I don't know. This looks cool. It's Peggle, but it's an RPG. It's a match made in heaven. Then the big one more thing was a Pizza Tower port for the Switch, and it even released today. So I'm not super into Pizza Tower. I think it's cool. Like I love the art style and stuff. The gameplay is not really quite my thing, but it was fun to see everyone freak out about it because people really like Pizza Tower, and it's just all of a sudden it's now on Switch. You know, you got to hand it to them. These indie world showcases usually have a pretty good one more thing. They usually save at least one really nice, meaty surprise announcement for the end. So, yeah, so that's cool. So that was it for the indie world. I guess I'll give my overall thoughts on this before moving on to the partner showcase. It was pretty good. I mean, like, I think not like a huge ton that, like, really, really jumped out at me. I would say it might even be a little bit, might have been a little less interesting than average, just for me. Personally, I think the last few have been kind of, just for me. There's a lot of great games in here, just not as much to my own tastes, but I don't know, it had morsels, so there you go. Moving on to the partner showcase, a Tetris Collection, but not just regular Tetrises, but like some of the weird deep cut stuff. I think that's genius, and I'm surprised that they haven't done it sooner. I mean, you know, they're always trying to come up with new ways to like package and sell Tetris because it's kind of the same basic game, but they're doing a pretty darn good job of coming up with products that still seem really fresh. You know, it was Tetris 99 and then Tetris Effect and all that, and so now bundling some of the old ones, Hatris and stuff, just some of the weird ones you might not have even heard of. Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I think there's potential in this for they could probably do a number of other collections, right? There have been a lot of weird variants of Tetris, especially like early days of Tetris's existence. They made, like right now, you almost exclusively just get regular Tetris, just kind of like, you know, slightly different spins on Tetris. But early on, they were throwing all sorts of weird stuff in there, coming up with all sorts of weird new ideas, new ways to play Tetris. So, yeah, it's fun, giving us a collection. It's very smart. Star Overdrive does look pretty cool, but it's one of those things where, like, there's no way I'm going to play it on Switch. Like, you know it's not a Switch exclusive. It's like a timed exclusive, but, like, even just looking at the footage, it's like, yeah, I'm not... It's a cool idea. The idea of, like, going across this, like, desert landscape, but you're, you know, like, wakeboarding, basically. It's cool. I'm just not going to play it on Switch. There's no reason. I don't want to deal with the subpar performance. And you know what? On that note, Goat Simulator 3. I don't care about that game at all, but I will say, like, wow, what a terrible showing. It is clear that it is a very weak port. Just, like, don't bother. Like, don't even bother if you can't make the game look good in a presentation. Like, I'm not gonna... Some of these shots are awful. Just don't do it. Don't bother. Then we had the reveal of the SpongeBob Patrick Star game that was rumored some weeks back. The rumor that we were getting like a sandbox physics-based Patrick Star game, and that was that wasn't even a rumor. It was a leak. Like you could see like promo images and stuff. But yeah, that's a thing. Here it is for Switch. Doesn't look bad. I feel like if I were really into SpongeBob, if I were a kid, it seems like silly fun. It doesn't really, yeah. Seems like a perfectly fine product. I just need to hear I need to see it in more like Nintendo presentations and commercials and stuff, so I can hear someone say the Patrick Star game for the Nintendo Switch family of systems. Castlevania DOS Collection, the DS games. I have not played any Castlevanias, and I know I need to. I really know I need to. I heard the DS ones were really good, and everyone seems to be pretty excited about this, so that's cool. Just a bunch of new Castlevania games to play on Switch. Awesome. Sid Meier's Civilization 7. That's cool. That's new, right? Like that's a new game coming out, and it's gonna be on Switch. So like, yeah, just a genuine modern multiplat. Look at that. Then at the end, they revealed a Yakuza game, and I cannot understand why it took them so long. I do not even get it. I mean, like Sega and Nintendo, they've got a real good relationship. Sega puts loads of stuff on Nintendo platforms, and yet with Yakuza, I feel like didn't they like say sometime back they just thought like Nintendo systems were too kiddie or something? But it's weird because they said that even when the Switch was just exploding in popularity, the install base just going crazy, and they're like, nah, it's just for little kids, right? It's like, what do you, I don't understand. You're this company and you make a lot of great games. Who at your company thinks this? How could anybody think this? And like, there are so many Yakuza games, and some of them are like fairly old, so like should be pretty easy to port to the Switch. And it's just really funny that it took them this many years. They waited until almost the very end of the Switch's life to finally give us a Yakuza game. And it's Yakuza Kiwami. I'm actually not like familiar with all of them. I've not played any of them. I just know that like it's one of those series where on the surface it looks really boring. It looks really generic, and just like why bother? But there's so much more to these games than meets the eye. They're like really, really over the top ridiculous. So I think it is cool that the Switch is finally going to have a Yakuza game. There you go. Finally happened. It took so long, but it finally happened. So overall, the partner showcase was okay. It's kind of like it's a little bit like the indie world. Just not a lot for me. I mean, like I can recognize that there's a lot of good stuff in here. Yakuza. I mean, like, yeah, Rune Factory. A new Rune Factory, that's a big deal. I know some people are really into that. I know My Sims was a big thing for a lot of people. Lots of JRPGs. Boo-woy. That's not... Boo-woy is not a word, but I'm saying that. That's just how kerfluffled I am at the number of JRPGs on the Switch. It just, every single presentation, there's just like 100 more. And I'm not complaining. I'm extremely, extremely happy that JRPG fans are eating so preposterously well. Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot here. Yeah, really not much for me in this whole thing. That's all right. They don't all have to be for me, you know? So many remasters, too. My gosh, the number of, like, remakes and remasters of old JRPGs coming to Switch. Like, you can't even keep up. I'm glad I'm not a fan. I'd be just, I mean, like, this thing, like, yeah, Dragon Quest, you had a Suikoden, remakes of the first two games, Tales of Grace's F. It's just like, what is this? Remaking and remastering every JRPG that has ever existed and putting it on Switch. It's crazy. Makes me say, boo-woy. So that was that. It was a good time. Thank you for watching. Sorry, I'm a little low energy. Just kind of cold. I'm getting better. I'm on the mend. It's just a couple day thing. It's just a lot of looking at stuff and talking today, and I'm pretty much ready to collapse into that there bed. So I'll see you later.